How to Disappear, a New Life Guide. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Philly. No, it's Carolyn, but you know, I got that ghostwriting magic happening today, so it feels like you're watching one of my videos. And we're diving into some seriously interesting stuff today, how to disappear. Not like a magic trick, though that would be awesome. We're talking full-on Jason Bourne style, vanish without a trace type stuff. Now before we get into it, I gotta say this isn't about encouraging anyone to go off the grid. This is purely for informational purposes, kind of like a thought experiment. You know, like what would you need to do if you had to start a new life? What are the steps, the precautions, the whole deal? So if you've ever been curious about the logistics of disappearing, about what it really takes to sever ties and start fresh, then buckle up. Let's get right into it. Ever wondered how to disappear and never be found? Today we're diving into some essential tips on how to vanish without a trace. Alright, so you want to disappear? First things first, ditch the Hollywood drama. This isn't about grabbing a backpack and your toothbrush and just running. This is about strategy, about thinking 5 steps ahead. This, my friends, is chess, not checkers. First and foremost, why? Why do you need to disappear? Are you in danger, fleeing something serious? Or are you just sick of your life and want a clean slate? The reason behind your need to disappear will dramatically impact the choices you make. Next, logistics. Where are you going, and how will you get there? You can't just show up in a new city with nothing but the clothes on your back unless you want to attract some unwanted attention. We're talking about fake IDs, new names, the works, and don't forget about money. You need a stash and not just a couple of $100. We're talking enough to live on for months, maybe even years without raising any red flags. Think untraceable funds, prepaid cards, the whole 9 yards. You're going to need a plan for communication, or rather the lack thereof. Ditch your phone, your email, all your social media. Remember, any digital footprint you leave behind is a breadcrumb leading right back to you. And finally, you need to be mentally prepared. Disappearing means leaving everything and everyone you know behind. It's a tough pill to swallow, and you need to be ready for the emotional toll it will take. So, you've planned, you've prepped, you've mentally prepared yourself. Now comes the tricky part, becoming someone else. This isn't about changing your hairstyle and buying a new pair of sunglasses. This is about creating a whole new you, a persona that can't be traced back to your old life. First things first, ditch your old ID. Driver's license, passport, social security card, gone. And don't even think about using them. One slip up, one traffic stop, and your whole plan goes up in smoke. Now you need new documentation. And I'm not talking about some shoddy fake ID from a back alley. You need something convincing, something that can withstand scrutiny. This might mean obtaining documents through less than legal means, and that comes with its own set of risks. Think about your new identity. Who is this person? What do they do? Where do they come from? The more detailed your backstory, the more believable your new life will be. And don't just memorize it, embody it. Appearance is key. If you're trying to blend in, drastic changes might be necessary. Think about hair color, style, even things like piercings or tattoos. But remember, the goal is to be forgettable, not to stand out. And don't forget about your online presence. You'll need a new email, new social media accounts, maybe even a new phone number. But be careful, too much activity can raise red flags. It's a delicate balance. Chapter 3. Cutting digital ties, going off the grid. We live in a digital age, which makes disappearing a hell of a lot harder than it used to be. Every Google search, every online purchase, every tweet leaves a trail. Cutting those digital ties is absolutely crucial to successfully disappearing. First, the obvious, ditch your smartphone, I mean it, toss it in a river, leave it on a bus, whatever you gotta do, and don't even think about getting a new one unless it's a burner with zero ties to your real identity. Social media? Gone. Deactivate everything. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. These platforms are data mining machines, tracking your every move. Remember, the goal is to become invisible, and that means disappearing from the digital world. Think about all the accounts you have. Online banking, shopping sites, even your Netflix profile. Close them all down. And be very wary of using public Wi-Fi. It's trackable, and one wrong click could expose your location. If you absolutely need to use the internet, use public computers, and always use a VPN. A VPN masks your IP address, making it look like you're browsing from somewhere else. It's not foolproof, but it adds an extra layer of anonymity. Avoid using credit cards, debit cards, anything that can be traced back to you. Cash is king when you're trying to disappear, and be careful who you communicate with. Assume any email you send, any message you type can be intercepted. Chapter 4, Cash Only, The Green Road to Anonymity. In our increasingly cashless society, relying solely on cash might seem like stepping back in time. But trust me, when you're trying to stay off the grid, cash is your best friend. It leaves no trace, no record, no digital footprint. Remember that stash of money we talked about? Yeah, it should be cash. And not just hundreds tucked under a mattress. We're talking about a diversified portfolio of bills. Small denominations for everyday purchases, larger ones for emergencies. Get used to paying for everything in cash. Groceries, rent, transportation, cash is king. This might mean getting creative, like finding a place to live that doesn't require a credit check, or paying a little extra for things under the table. Credit cards and debit cards are trackable. Every swipe is like leaving a giant neon sign pointing right at you. If you absolutely must use a card, make it a prepaid one. Bought with cash, of course. Be wary of ATMs. They're equipped with cameras that can capture your face and clothing, and your transactions are logged. If you need to withdraw cash, do it in small amounts, at different ATMs, and try to blend in with your surroundings. Getting paid in cash is ideal, even if it means taking on odd jobs or under-the-table work. Remember, the goal is to stay off the grid, and that means minimizing any traceable financial activity. Chapter 5, Blending In, The Art of Being Forgettable. You've got your new identity, you've cut your digital ties, you're a cash-only operator. Now comes the final and perhaps most challenging part, blending in. It's about becoming invisible, a face in the crowd, someone who doesn't draw attention. The key is to be unremarkable. Ditch any flashy clothes, any distinctive accessories, anything that screams, "Look at me." The goal is to blend in, to become a chameleon, adapting to your surroundings. Think about the people in your new environment. How do they dress? How do they talk? What are their mannerisms? Mirror them. The closer you can align yourself with the local vibe, the less likely you are to stand out. Avoid drawing attention to yourself. Don't get into arguments, don't engage in risky behavior, and for God's sake, don't break the law. Remember, any interaction, even a seemingly insignificant one, can be a liability. Stick to a routine. Regularity is your friend. It makes you predictable, and predictability equals invisibility. Go to the same coffee shop every morning, walk the same route to the park, become a creature of habit, and finally be patient. Blending in takes time. It's about slowly eroding your old identity and allowing your new one to take hold. It's a process, not an overnight transformation. Outro: the final word, a new life awaits. So there you have it, a crash course in disappearing. But here's the thing, actually vanishing, cutting all ties and starting a new life is way more complicated, and frankly way more dangerous than any movie makes it look. This isn't a decision to be made lightly, it's not a game, and the consequences of messing up are very, very real. If you're considering a drastic move like this, please think long and hard about the potential risks and repercussions. And hey, if you found this video even remotely interesting, maybe leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought, what surprised you, what other how-to videos you'd like to see. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and stay curious. Remember, disappearing is not something to be taken lightly. It requires careful planning and consideration. Stay safe and make informed decisions.